How's it going, YouTube? We are back with some more signings and trades across sports. We're going to continue with the NHL because the draft happened and now free agency is upon us and it's just getting real crazy. Taylor Hall signed a 4-year, $24 million extension with Boston. He's going to stay in Boston. He played extremely well in Boston compared to what he did in Arizona as well as Buffalo. So I think he's made himself a nice little home there. Their team is really, really stacked in forwards. They still have Bergeron, they still have Marchand and Pasternak as well. So they're extremely talented up front. Obviously, they have McAvoy on the back end with Tuukka Rask between the pipes. So they still have a good core team there. They seriously can make a significant push at another cup. But I think there's a lot that still needs to happen across the league to see where everybody's favorites are going. Columbus get their hands on Jake Bean in exchange for a 2021 second, which ended up being the 44th overall pick. Jake Bean is a nice little young defenseman from Carolina. They have a lot of guys like that. Hayden Fleury was traded to Arizona and then picked up in the expansion draft. That was another one. Jake Bean is an offensive kind of guy. Nice power play artist, puck mover, stuff like that. Obviously, he hasn't cracked the NHL yet, I believe, so he still needs to shore things up on the back end to ensure himself as an NHL talent. Jacob Voracek gets traded to Columbus in exchange for Cam Atkinson. So basically, it's a right winger for right winger trade. Atkinson's younger, I believe, and I believe he's more of a playmaker compared to Voracek being more of a sniper. So they need more snipers in Columbus, I guess, in exchange for a younger playmaker in Cam Atkinson, who gets moved to Philly. So I don't know what the reasoning behind this trade was, but in terms of who's the better player, I think Voracek's the better player, but that's just me. So I think Columbus wins that deal. Florida gets their hands on Sam Reinhart as the Buffalo dumpster fire continues to burn. They get their hands on a 2022 first-round pick, which is top 10 protected, and a goalie, Devon Levy. I don't know too much about Devon Levy, so I won't speak to his talents or anything of his nature. But Sam Reinhart, I mean, he never really panned out as the top-tier talent that we were expecting to see in Buffalo. But part of that could just be Buffalo being horrible at developing pieces. Obviously, Jack Eichel and Rasmus Dahlin are bona fide stars, like elite talents right out the gate. Some players need more development than that, and Sam Reinhart seems to be one of those guys. I think that his time in Florida could be pretty good for him if he finds himself on a line where he's featured more than he was in Buffalo and use him to his talents as a playmaker rather than trying to force him into situations. But I think it's a good deal for both teams. I mean, obviously, Buffalo is trying to tear down to rebuild really quick, not trying to go full on blow it up, but retool with Dahlin. They still have young guys there. They still have a chance to turn it around. So I'm not going to say anything about it, but it's just not looking good out in Buffalo. Cale Makar gets signed for 6 years and $54 million. They locked him down really quick. He's played a couple of really spectacular seasons, both in his rookie year and his second year. They hand him 6 years. I do not know how old he is. I know he's early 20s, but he's making some significant coin here. He's really been a great player. Fun to watch. Really, really fun to watch for the Avalanche. That team is, cup contender year in and year out for the last probably 2 years, I would say. But they're really looking really, really good. On to the NFL spectrum for a minor trade. Houston gets wide receiver Anthony Miller and a 2022 7th in exchange for a 5th in 2022. Anthony Miller, I mean, he is a guy that could possibly be a slot talent. You've seen it a little bit in Chicago. I just don't think that they really had the offense to fit his type of scheme. They run the ball a lot with Montgomery, and they run the ball a lot, pass the ball to the running back a lot to Tarek Cohen. But Houston's going to throw the ball. Deshaun Watson has reported to camp, so it looks like he's going to stay. They like to throw the ball out there in Houston, so we'll see how that goes. They need more wide receivers. They never really were right after Hopkins got traded, and an absolute fleece job by Arizona. But they get Anthony Miller to try to patch up the pieces there and maybe bounce back this year. Who knows? The LA Kings signed left winger Trevor Moore to a 2-year, $3.75 million deal. I really like this deal. Cheap deal for a player that was really impactful to the Kings' offense last season. A lot of deflection goals. He's small, but he's gritty. He's on the forecheck constantly. He's a pest. He kills penalties. He plays a really good two-way game. I think he's more of a grinder. Plays in front of the net, pushes bodies against the boards, stuff of that nature. But I think he's a really, underappreciated piece. Probably like an unsung hero for the LA Kings, if there is one, considering how bad they were and they've been. But I enjoyed watching him a lot. He's chipping in with some goals. Maybe he breaks 20 in a full season. I don't know if he's going to get as much ice time as he did last year, but if he gives us 10, 11, 12, 13 goals, I think it's a win right there. And that's an extremely affordable contract to go with it. Cincinnati extends defensive end. Oh my goodness, I forgot to write his name. I think it's Carl Hubbard to a 4-year, $40 million deal. Wow, ain't that something? He is part of a really decent defense over there. I think that they're gonna take that next step out in Cincy. Barring that Burrow is healthy, Jamar Chase has I think he has a Rookie of the Year caliber season. But that defense was underrated a little bit. Their secondary is not bad, and their run defense is not bad. They extend one of their pass rushers in Hubbard for 4 years and $10 million per season, which is a nice price in the NFL. But I'm excited to see what Cincy brings to the table this year in a division that is already pretty stacked. So they're gonna have a tough time in it divisionally, but they are a good team. I think they're definitely on the come up for sure. And a deal that makes me really upset, San Diego gets their hands on second baseman Adam Frazier in exchange for shortstop Tucupita, Marcano, Michel Miliano, who's a pitcher, and outfielder Jack Sawinski. Adam Frazier is one of the better contact hitters in the game right now. Possible leader for a batting title in the National League. If Winker falls off and Castellanos falls off and Frazier continues to do what he does. What I'm curious to see is what they're going to do with the defense. Are they going to throw Cronenworth in the outfield? Are they going to throw Frazier in the outfield? That cuts time away from Profar and Jorge Mateo and guys of that nature, but those guys are nowhere near the level of Adam Frazier and Cronenworth, so this is a really good deal. San Diego's attempting to make a really big push. The Giants are in first place. Dodgers are not playing amazing baseball right now, but it's a really tight National League West. I believe the Padres are 6 back and the Dodgers are now 3 back. I don't know if the Padres won today, but it's tight over there. It's a few games here, a few games there for both sides. But, the Padres are going to make their push. There's rumors of them being tied to Scherzer. The Dodgers are being tied to Scherzer and Trey Turner. So there's a lot that still needs to happen in the MLB before the deadline. And the deadline is tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I believe. So a lot can go down really, really fast. And our one NBA piece right here, Memphis gets their hands on Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, a 2022 first, which is top 10 protected, a 2021 first, which is the number 10 overall pick, and a 2021 second, which is the number 40 pick. In exchange for Jonas Valanciunas, a 2021 first, which is number 17, and a 2021 second, which is 51. This is a really interesting deal as well, because I believe Steven Adams is a pretty good center defensively and on the boards. Obviously, his scoring isn't going to be great, but he's a really decent center. And Eric Bledsoe is a little bit older nowadays, and maybe they're just trying to fill a roster spot. But I feel like he makes too much money to really give up a piece as good as Valanciunas. Valanciunas is a more offensively based center. His rebounding is good, but his defense isn't as great. But I really think that New Orleans might have overpaid to get him here. I know they pick swap, which is fine, and it's a top 10 protected pick for New Orleans, which is not a bad thing, but they also gave up the number 10 pick right now in this draft. So, they spent a lot to get him. I hope Valanciunas works out for them because they have a lot of talent down in New Orleans, and it's easy to think that they start to turn it around this season, maybe even. But that's going to do it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoy, guys. Subscribe, comment, your guys' favorite signings, anything that you want me to mention in the next video. If you guys would like to make a donation to the channel, it's No Hit Media on Cash App, and I will see you guys next time.